Greetings, Sanbonani, Dumelangi, Absheni, hello out there once again. It's your boy AK back again with another episode of Seeking Practical Solutions for Practical Societal Issues. And we are on episode number 31 here. And on this episode, I'm actually joined by Lesego, as we're gonna be taking a look at the education sector, the education field as a whole, like the teaching and education sector as a whole, like the challenges, everything. We're just gonna be diving in deep. But before we do that, I'm just gonna give him a short minute to just introduce himself formally, let the real talkers know what he's doing out there, the projects he's involved in. So, Mr. Lesego, how is it, mister?
No, I'm good. And yourself?
Sweet.
Yeah.
The platform is yours, man.
Sambunani, Dumelang, viewers, Abshedi, as he said. My name is Lesego Msimango. I'm currently working towards being a teacher for the senior and FET phase, majoring in physical sciences. Projects that I was involved in before, like tutoring kids, also like helping adults, like me church-wise. I'm sure AK knows.
Yeah.
Me and church, you're big on church.
7 days.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically me. But hopefully there'll be more. And Manga Toli Chance of Boya might divulge into new projects that I might be involved in. You never know. So yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Most definitely, man. It's an honor having you on the show, man, as we are still busy continuing with our path of addressing social issues. So, man, let me not waste any time and just dive into the topic.
Yeah.
But just before I do that, let me just remind the real talkers out there and the viewers out there to please click that subscribe button there on YouTube. And you can also follow us on Spotify and all our podcasting platforms. We are on all these podcasting platforms. You can name them: Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, like good pods. We are there. Just go there and give us like a review or something. We'll appreciate it. So, Mr. Lesego, man. So the opening point for our discussion is gonna be like we're gonna take a look at like the major challenges that exist, like that are facing public schools and educators in most cases, because we know like our department is neglecting when it comes to public schools.
Yeah, hey.
I'm a former public school learner, so I know where that. So, like, what would you say are like some of the challenges?
I'm gonna start in your background in schooling. I went to a semi-private school, John Martin Catholic School. I think you know it. Yeah, it is semi-private. Yeah. So and then high school wise, I went to Musupatzela.
Yeah.
Fully public, and the differences that I saw, they were very huge.
Yeah.
First thing was class size. I want a class size, like a teacher cannot focus LN and A1 all the time. It's all those things with when you're busy teaching. Now I faced it while I was doing my practicals.
Yeah.
You're busy teaching, you got people are busy talking, people are busy doing their own thing. And you cannot grab attention of everyone, you know. So educators, I saw a challenge with the way teaching was done before, you know. The teacher was an authority. Whatever the teacher says is right. You cannot question the teacher. That was a problem because of it built that thing with Timanje. You are scared of asking for information. You are scared of. You can see that 1 + 1 here is written 3, but because of the teacher is a form of authority. Like
becomes a problem.
And when you challenge, you know, you get corporal punishment was a big thing, like Zanzi. So we tried to stop it as much as we could, but it's still going on in public schools.
But don't you think that's where like we went wrong too, like putting an end to corporal punishment? I mean, like take a look at us. Like we are that generation, the last generation that of corporal punishment, and look how it turned out. And then you look at this upcoming generation, how they are busy fighting with teachers at schools. Like back then, those things were not there. You knew
they were there, but they were so subtle. You know, the thing is that kids now they're told they have rights.
Yeah.
We had rights, but they were not taught responsibility for those rights. You know, an elder, no matter how much, even if a person is 4 or 5 years older than you, that's still an elder.
Yeah.
So the first thing you need to look at when you look at a teacher, you must look at the person as your mother and your father. but also looking at home again. How do your parents react? How do your parents treat you? And how do you treat your parents? Because of you are a reflection of how you are treated at home.
They used to tell us that at schools, like, you are the reflection of your
and
home.
When the teacher would call, like, yeah, you must beat this person up, show him flames.
Now my dad once did that.
Serious?
Yeah, went to school and he was like, you say this one,
yeah. And
don't call me, just Muri.
You know what the painful part for me was? My mom and dad were teachers. So it was that thing that I have to uphold the standard all the time. I was a kid,
and the expectations.
Yeah, the expectations. When something would go wrong, they're like, but your mom and dad is a teacher. Why are you not doing this? But I was like, I'm still a kid. In my brain, I would not tell them I'm still a kid, but in my brain, I'm like, yeah, I'm naughty, I'm still a kid. But when I get home, I would reflect, like, okay, what if the way I'm treating my teacher is the way they're treating my mom and dad?
Yeah, because they think that's what they are teaching you at home.
So I got into a stage whereby when I looked at a teacher, even now when I see them, I call them mom, dad. Mom, dad, sad man.
Yeah.
You know, my name is I'm like, no. You'll always be a teacher. It's like a doctor will never retire, a teacher never retires.
Because at the end of the day, like back then at schools, there was this culture of like where teachers used to tell us that they are also parents because they are responsible for you during that 8 hours.
And if something happens, teachers get asked what went wrong.
So
sorry.
I can talk it.
One thing that educators are facing right now is respect. A lot of educators, just like last year or this year, a teacher was gunned down because a student was mad because of something.
It's this year.
This year.
Yeah, I think it's by Soweto if I'm not.
No, it's Tembisa.
Yeah, Tembisa. Yeah.
A teacher was gunned down. When I was doing my practicals, 2016, a teacher was stabbed.
Yeah. We used to see such cases. I used to school by SG Mafais. I know sometimes such cases were there.
Yeah, but they were rare. Now it's like a norm. If a teacher does something to you, you retaliate violently. Why not just go to the principal's office, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4?
I feel like the thing that's contributing to this is the use or the exposure of like there's this new crystal meth that's trending, like you even pass like during lunch times during high schools you find them like smoking it. So I think that's where it starts, because like one of the side effects of that drug is aggressiveness, violence, like they become like aggressive. But
we in a sense I say there's too much freedom.
Yeah,
you know, freedom is okay to an extent. It's like too much of everything is wrong. Look at now, even now kids can come drunk to school and you cannot do anything. When you try to speak as a teacher, you are labeled as someone who doesn't love children, doesn't like to, you're a bully, all those things.
And it's social media.
Social media also, they don't put in the full narrative.
Yeah.
They only get that piece
that clip,
by the teacher was reacting. And they're like, no, the teacher. Just like last time I watched the video on Twitter.
Yeah.
Kids, 8 or 9 years old.
Sure.
They had knives at school.
That's a norm. These days, that's a norm.
And
gangsterism in schools, it's a norm. Like sometimes even when I'm walking, like and maybe after 2, because like there's junior here close by in Madiba. Like when they pass, when we come across these kids, you are even scared sometimes. But he's wearing a school uniform. You're like, hey, this kid might mark me, man.
Think about me as a teacher now. I have to face this person. Either has a gun, has a knife, or when school's out, this person's gonna come after me.
Yeah,
so how does that make you feel as a teacher? You cannot even continue with a lesson. You cannot even say certain stuff, because if you go rub the person the wrong way,
something
becomes a problem. Because there was a time I was in Mandisa Shikaka.
Yeah.
Because I got to teach early stages of high school and late stages.
Yeah.
This kid was disruptive, and I'm busy talking. So I asked him one question, bruh, is everything fine at home? Then everything changed. That guy went into, I think he went, I don't know if it's called a depression, some sort of depression. Like I could see the light dim from his eyes.
Like that question actually hit home.
Yeah, and it also hurt me. Oh, did I go this far? And then when it was lunchtime, I called him. Like, bro, I'm sorry for saying this. Are you okay?
Sure.
I saw when I said, is everything okay at home? And then something like hit you. So he explained, no, at home, next door, there's a tavern, and I don't get time to study. When I try to study, they send me somewhere, I either have to clean, I can't do my homeworks. Parents are always fighting. So me coming to school is a form of a release.
Yeah, like an escape.
An escape of some sort. So I was like, okay, so how can I as a teacher face this thing? That's why now we are fighting to, each and every class must have a psychologist.
Yeah, because I've noticed like this comes from social development lately, like staying, like parking in schools, even primary schools. Because we actually spoke about this on one of our episodes where we were talking about bullying and teenage pregnancy. We touched on it, like schools actually need someone like that, like a social worker.
Yeah, it's very important because also during my studying, we also taught this thing, how to be a teacher. You know, how to be a teacher, people think you just go to school, you just memorize this, you become a tape recorder. But when you get there, remember, there are different kinds of people there. Yeah. This person learns visually, this person learns via audio, this person practical, you know, so you need to find a balance. And also, whilst you're busy teaching, you need to sit down, because there was a point I sat down with the kids, like they're writing a test. I was like, okay guys, let's say school is out. Sit down, let's discuss now.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong at home? And the problems that they came with, I actually cried when I went out of the class. This thing of support from the parents, it's a minimum.
Yeah.
When you try to say, hey, help me with maths, I don't know maths. But other parents did not go to school.
I was about to say that when it comes to our parents, even us growing up, we knew the majority of our parents, grade 10, 11, there or 12. And when it was time for homeworks, okay, they will try, but they will end up saying, I can't.
So it's something that hurts me when I sometimes see learners.
So what do you think the community and the government can actually do to actually help?
I'm going to make an example. Remember there was a show called Izo Izo?
Yeah.
Remember how involved the SGB was in that school? Yes, there was violence and all those things, but the SGB was always involved.
And it was parents.
Strictly parents. So now, parents are working but now as a community, we must create our own SGB as a community. Because a next door neighbor, an elder, is also a parent.
Yeah.
Someone front opposite. Everyone that you see on the street is an elder.
Hence they say it takes a village.
It takes a village. So why not include that whole village into the school?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes yes, you know, parents' meetings, sometimes they are a problem because parents cannot
attendance.
But now, weekends, as teachers, we need to go out.
Sure.
So social development, they do these things, but they do not go to every school because of they are given a certain mandate to go to the school, and they only give like 2% of what's needed. So if we get involved as a community, you see a child in the streets is messing up, the child should be at school. Why not carry the child to school and ask what's going on?
Yeah.
Involve the cops if needs be, but not involve the cops in a matter of violence. Involve the cops in a matter of solving the issue while we can talk. Psychologists. There are a lot of psychologists out there who are qualified but they don't have jobs. Why not push them into the education sector? It could help.
I think they are scared of Machanko.
That's the problem. Money is not a problem.
We just have leaders who are not prioritizing us, putting our needs forward.
They'll tell you there's a budget for this, there's a budget for this, there's a budget. But where does most of it go? When you ask questions, you get disbarred.
Yeah, that's true. Even like with textbooks, like up to date, kids are still battling with the shortages of textbooks. Something I went through as a lesson.
Yeah, and the textbook you are using in grade 8 is still the same textbook they're using right now.
And I mean, like right now, there's currently for IR. Like books are there digital. Why can't they get a copy for all students? Because digital copies are actually much
cheaper.
Yeah, much cheaper.
You just like, okay, guys, today we're focusing on chapter 10. You just print chapter 10. Give it to them, guys, revise chapter 10.
And it makes things simpler, considering that kids actually prefer phones, being on phones,
Why
laptops.
Why not use them for something that's going to benefit them?
Hard copies are for us all crocs, man.
Yeah, but I love hard copies. You can
it's
never
the
go
same
wrong. You can never go wrong with hard copies. But now, since we're moving to the 4IR, you also need to, that's why I was telling people this thing, you need to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's what we need to focus on.
Please repeat that again.
You need to learn, unlearn, then relearn.
Oh, that's dope.
And it's a matter of mindset. You know, that's the thing also. As teachers, we need to get involved in. We need to learn to change our mindset. We cannot be like the horses, just word claps. We're looking at this thing.
Yeah.
We need to change our mindset. And positive mindset. When something goes wrong, don't be like, ish.
We spoke about it when we touched on bullying on one of our episodes, how like educators in most cases, I don't know about this new generation of ours of educators, but the educators that we grew up like being taught by, you knew that they actually contributed to like bullying issues somewhere, majority. So I just don't know on your side how
I was bullied by a teacher once. I got you know I love singing.
Yeah.
Right. So when we were doing our class works, like we were in the school choir, in primary school choir. So we sometimes just sing, just practice our films, after school or during lunch, it's choir practice.
Yeah.
So we would sing, I would sing leader songs, and the whole class would sing, busy doing our work. So there was this substitute teacher, she's also in our church. So we're singing, she gets into the class. She looks at me, I'm the one leading the song. She's like, you will never amount to anything in your life if you continue singing. Why don't you stop singing and doing your schoolwork? You'll never amount to, you'll just be a criminal.
That's an educator. Someone who's supposed to guide you, show you the right doors.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but I kept quiet. I continued. I got home, I cried. And I know this person personally. She's in my church.
It's more like someone is not believing in you. Like I want most of our educators or teachers, like they didn't believe in most of us. They only believed in that kid that they knew distinctions. There was that one kid in class. They even give attention to them. You can do whatever.
When I got into Musupatela in grade 10.
Yeah.
My teacher, my physics teacher, would come sit at the flag. No. Come sit at the back. No, you want to be note? I'm like, no. I just want to sit at the back. I sat at the front my whole primary life. Now for a change, let me sit at the back. And I noticed something. There's nothing different at the back. Because I noticed there was this friend that was my best friend, like we grew up together. He's like, I love sitting at the back because of the echo. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, listen when the teacher is talking there, like the voice, but when you sing at the back, she becomes like she's loud. And he prefers to sit at the back because of that. Others sit on the front because I can't see. I'm like, I can see, I can hear. So
I think it was because like back then, being backbenchers, they were those naughty backbenchers. Backseat kurwa. You knew once I sit there, that's when like they're gonna be teasing everyone. Distraction, isn't it?
But think about it. Why not ask this person, what do you like doing?
Yeah. What's hard about that?
Yeah. Why do you always make noise? Why do you always do this? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you like doing? Because I can see that you're not interested in the classroom. So what can you do for us? Because I remember there was a time when our teachers were gone.
Yeah.
Push tables to the door, close.
We'd
open our own jigamaji. And we found out that there are actually people who can really dance.
Yeah.
There are people who actually can really sing. And there are people who can, like, sometimes someone will draw on the floor and be like, this person's so talented.
Yeah.
But he's sitting in the class, sitting there. 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4. And then they would doodle. And then doodling would be like, you don't like school. But this person is doing what they like. So that's the thing, like, as a teacher, you need to get to a point where you know each and every learner.
Like there's something I like right now, like I see on social media with teachers, especially our generation, where you find like in class maybe it's teaching maths there. I forgot his name, this guy. But it's more like a choir there is teaching maths, like it becomes interesting, like okay, now I'm enjoying class.
Class, that's the thing, we didn't enjoy class.
Yeah, because our teachers just got there with the textbook and then
didn't do your homework, get out. And yes, we grew up with corporal punishment. It was wrong, but it instilled
those values,
discipline and values. Because of when you did something wrong, you instead of shaming your parents, you're shaming the whole community. Because especially if your parents are people who like in church and all those things, they're upstanding people
Yeah,
in the
like
community.
they are more like that thing. They are the bacon maybe within the community. It's more like they're leaders within.
Yes. So it's that thing that then like kids were like, man, I like your parents. I wish your parents were my parents. So that was something that also made me proud. Like, so this teaching thing is actually, because sometimes when I was sick, my mom would take me to the clinic. She was teaching in Meadowlands. Yeah. So I'll go with her.
So it.
Yeah. But it was a primary school. So.
That's better. Hey.
Yeah, so, and sometimes she would leave and she's like, continue with the class. And I'm like, I don't know anything. But the amount of respect they had for me because of my mom. And then I said, okay. But there was no corporal punishment. My mom would sit there with a stick like, I will. So that fear also built some sort of respect because my mom never hit them.
She just instilled that thing of being like a parent and them knowing that once you step out of line, I'm still your parent.
Yeah.
I can discipline you.
Unlike
us, we even played sports like
sports was big in the hood.
Like the teacher will actually tell you that I want 5 goals.
Yeah.
If you fail to score those 5 goals,
you're in trouble.
And
we were forced to be in sports because were you in athletics?
Yeah. I did everything. Athletics, cricket, soccer.
Yeah.
Even at some point in high school, we were forced to go play a rugby match.
Yes, I remember that. I heard it that my friends was playing rugby.
We were playing with, Sianas.
Yeah.
So I was there like, all of us, we are skiing. They just took soccer players. They were like, now we're vying with them. We got there. And that's why I experienced like my first rugby game. And then I was like, no more. Because I received like this check and I was like,
Yeah, so I loved that about school in the olden days.
It empowered us.
You were forced to be in sports because of what if your talent is in sports.
Like even choirs, like you said, you were in a choir, and I think that's how it worked. Like maybe first time they will take the whole class and be like, come and sing. And then they start selecting. Yeah. And then you are just there like,
then you are left behind.
You are even surprised.
Go and run.
Go there.
Long jump, you
like,
play soccer.
This is leading me to the question I want to ask, like, you mentioned something about talent, the amount of talent that's within schools. And I feel like, there's arts and culture in school, but it's not doing the most to equip.
They changed it now. They're calling it
creative arts.
Yeah, they integrated it with life science. Now they're calling it life skills.
Oh,
but it's not as pronounced as it was in our time.
Yeah.
Now it's just like they mostly it's like life skills. Like
but still, like I think we still have these cases where you find learners being like, I'm dropping out. I'm going to be a musician outside. What do you think? As teachers in high schools, especially in high schools, because that's where it starts. So what do you think we can actually do to support them, to keep them within like the barriers of school while they are actually pursuing their dreams? Because it's more like, okay, education, they don't see the value of education because they see Casper maybe in your vest is doing it without metric.
You know what the problem is? They see the end result, they don't see the process.
Yeah, the hard work.
Now what I would say is, stay in school, but still do what you love. Because I had a discussion last time with my girlfriend. If we have kids, we'll take them to school, but they will do what they love. Yeah. So you know that if you have an education, you have a foundation. You can go to university, you can do all this, but still doing what you love.
Yeah.
And have this. You can be a doctor. You can be a doctor and be a DJ. What's wrong about that?
I feel like that's actually like a great thing because you actually have something to fall back on. For instance, I'm a podcaster, I have my qualification this side. I know, if I'm not making money, this side at least I can go maybe look for work or start something down those lines. You see, so I don't know what our department can actually do, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. They need to tell kids this thing. Stay in school, but continue doing what you love.
Don't you think they should actually introduce even studios in schools?
Yeah, when we talk about those things, they're talking about equality.
Yeah.
Equality in theory is the best, but practically. There are schools that have no resources at all. There are schools that have resources more than they need. And sometimes in primary, John Martin, there are other schools like these private schools, Saint Dotto, Saint Dotto. If you're in the Catholic school, it's one network. They would come from where they could visit us, bring stuff for us. When something is missing, they would come bring. We had a computer lab because of other schools.
Yeah.
So if as schools become a network, like, this school is short with 1, 2, 3, 4, we have an abundance of this. Let's help the other school. And then if they have something, let them help us.
It's more like schools within maybe this neighborhood. We have Mandisa, Junior, Mafaisa, somewhere there. Yeah. If they were all like to come together and start, it's more like a networking community whereby we know, textbook short, we can go to the school. I think
and ask, yes, even if you don't give it, you can borrow us as a loan, and then, but we need this thing. Remember, there was a time when we had these afternoon classes.
Yeah,
they were sponsored by CETA or something.
Yeah, where like we had, I attended it at Musupi even on Saturdays. The SIT classes whereby we had quotas, like they were sponsoring them.
So what I saw with that thing is that the implementation was okay. It was not great because of it couldn't accommodate each and every school, so if yes, we know numbers, but don't limit the amount of learners that you can have. Rather bring in more teachers. We know there are a lot of teachers who are willing to work overtime because they love teaching, but now you're sitting there like, we don't have space, why not use another school?
And that's actually like,
so if we schools actually become one network and help each other, I think the quality of education in our hood would actually improve from a primary level up to a secondary level, and also it will help children to go towards tertiary.
Because that's a problem, but I will touch on it because, like, especially in our hood, when it comes to tertiary, anything. But before we actually move on, like, there's this new system, Department of Education, for admitting students in schools, whereby you apply online, the online system. Like, it's been giving people like challenges. So, like, I just want to find out, like, what's your take on it? Do you think it's something that should actually be abolished, or should they continue with implementing it? Because, like, when you look at some of our parents, they don't know how to operate technology. And then sometimes it misplaces students. So, what's your take on it?
So the idea is actually a very good idea. It's just that South Africa is slow in implementing ideas.
We're 10 years behind.
Yeah, we are very behind in our implementation strategies. The strategy is good because of if you have a learner in a database, you know that if there's no space here, we can place the learner there if there's no space here. But now they'll tell you the server is down. They'll tell you you have a waiting list in. But now that's why I told someone like, no, let parents bring in forms. Then when they bring in forms, the ones that are able to be admitted, they can be admitted, and then the rest they put into a database, and then you can spread it. But you should also look at the location, because now, if a child from Kagiso tries to apply in Krugersdorp, they are immediately rejected. They're like the radius, the child is too far. But you're like, as a parent, I can take my child to school. There are transport systems, so they prioritize people who are nearer. And then after the end, when you realize that the school is full, now it becomes a problem. So
because like when schools reopened earlier on this year, I think like we had like 3 cases of school children, primary school kids who were looking for schools.
They didn't have space. Yeah.
We had to move from district Krugersdorp where it's money that we don't even have.
But the thing is that I'm also going to touch on it a bit, the amount of corruption that we have.
I wanted to ask about it,
So, if we work on a first-come, first-served basis, every learner would have a school.
Yeah.
Each and every learner who applied would have a school. But now, because of I know this person, like, my child needs a school, then I take, that person's like 100 and something, then I put him on number 2. And then the child who applied number 2 is now back number 2. And then you keep on bringing people that you know. The child ends up without a school.
Yeah, and that's why, like, when it comes to corruption, I won't even ask for a way forward, because I know we can't have a solution on the ground level while the executive structure at the top is also corrupt.
Yeah.
Once they're saying how it goes. Once the head is corrupt, the body automatically. You see. But apart from that, man, let's just transition to the next point of our conversation, and that is like how this one is. It actually focuses on high school learners, matriculants, grade 11s, grade 12s. Because that's why I feel like, okay, that's when you start making preparations for varsity. Like, you start being serious with, okay, am I going to go to varsity? And we know, like, usually there's, like, this struggle of transitioning from high school to varsity. Because for high school, we are babysitted. Assignments, they are here, like, you did not submit. When you miss school for 2 days, they'll call and inquire. And then you get to varsity. Varsity, they just give you an assignment. Like the first day of class, they give you a deadline of March. Pumago, you relax.
Then you feel how much is far.
So how do you think like new first time entering varsity students can actually cope with the pressure, like that whole pressure that comes with being at varsity? Because there's a lot of dynamics at play when you're there, from social life, academics.
So I think where we went wrong as the education sector is not teaching kids to be ready from the foundation phase.
Because while you're on that, they gave us these expectations that were not there. For instance, when they came to us selling us these ideas of varsity, you knew what happened. Like, they will give you this American Pie concept of varsity being like, it's late. But when you get there, anxiety, depression,
that's the thing. We are not prepared from a very young age. You know, when they used to ask you, what do you want to be? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a policeman. I want to be a nurse. But then they didn't say, how are you going to get there? The how is where we messed up as the education sector.
How and why.
So I think we need to make kids ready. Because now, think about it. We've been schooling from grade 1 till grade 10. This thing of university is like, man. Then you get to grade 11, like, you need to get to university. Now, you get this flood of information that you don't even understand. But if you're prepared from a young age, this is from grade 1, grade 2. That's why we as teachers, we do baseline assessments to assess what you knew in the previous grade. To see how far you are. But now, because of sometimes you get this thing like, and then kids don't know what happened. Then you have to go back before with the last year's syllabus, and then you go into the next.
And I think that's interesting because automatically, how the brain works, it will even remember, this thing is familiar, and then it stays. Because there are students that actually need to be like retaught.
Retaught. That's why I say learn, unlearn, and relearn. So it goes with them. If you are willing to learn, you must also be willing to forget what you learned, and also be willing to learn something new. You know, that's why.
That's profound, bro.
Learn and relearn. So from a young age, you need to be taught. This is where you're going in life. I know, because now you get to grade 10, you need to choose your subjects.
And the grade 10, that's where people like start being like roadblock. Roadblock.
That's where everything goes to.
And people drop out there, like.
Grade 10. But if we were taught, let's say grade 9, okay guys, let's say one day, like, okay guys, what do you want to be in life? What do you want to be in life? What do you want to be in life? Okay, this is the stream you choose. This is the stream you choose. And are you planning to go to varsity or not? Are you planning to go into a TVET or not?
I mean, like, we are not even assisted with like choosing these streams, like when it came to grade 10. You know, they just gave you that paper, go at home.
Like, this one is exciting.
And then at home they're like, nah, take science.
Because science is like, I want my son to be a doctor.
And they're like, take science after in just 6 months.
And then you change, you're going to go accounting, then they think you're going to fail, and then you keep that thing in. My parents are disappointed. That's why mindset is also important. You need to sit your parents down like, Mom, Dad, this is what's happening with my life.
Because we actually fought when we were choosing streams because they wanted me to do science. I was like, nah,
I'll tell you why I follow science. Because of my brother. I was like, this thing looks nice. My sister did accounting, business management. And I would see every time when he came to school, he'd come in, interesting pictures and textbooks, and I'm like, this thing is fun, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
But they got the trouble. So me, the only difference with me was that, okay, my brother did science, my sister did science. So for me, I just got to that point where I had to choose, and I was like,
by default,
nah, I need to be different, man. We can't all be doing science. And everyone was thinking that I'm gonna be there. I mean, like, even at school, there was like, when I got there, my natural science teacher, when she did not see me inside like the class for science students, they came and fetched me on the commencers. They were like, I see.
So, but think about it. You see, now you chose what you wanted to choose, but now because you are being pushed into something, you get to the stage of it means I cannot move on from this. It means I'm not good at this. It means I'm not good at that.
They install that doubt, self-doubt.
Yeah. And someone will tell you, oh, grade 10 is hard, grade 11 is hard. You've never experienced a thing, but you already have a mindset of this thing is hard.
And that's something majority of our teachers like doing, like instilling fear, using it as motivation. Like, yo, grade 10 what I fail. You know, you're there like, why are you telling me that? You are demotivating me automatically by telling me that, because now there's that fear of, hey, there's a lot of people who didn't make it this. Am I part of it? Anxiety.
Are you going to be a statistic?
Yeah.
So we need to teach kids from a young age. You know, we need to teach them, guys, if you really like, and allow kids to change their minds.
Yeah.
You know, I was reading this book called Mindset. That's where I learned to actually have an open mind. You know, you can fail at something today and tomorrow pass.
Yeah, that's how it works.
But you must be willing to be like, okay,
to put in the work.
Go back, and because my science teacher in university is like, bruh, I got 30%. I was so devastated. It's like, but at least you know 30% of your work.
Just
work on learning 40%, 50%, 60%.
Yeah.
You might even get to 100 if you want to.
You just need to go back and figure out where you went wrong, and then you fix those things.
So that's what made me like also want to get in more and more into teaching. I want to teach kids that struggling is not a negative thing.
It's okay.
It's okay to struggle. What can you do in order to move from the struggle? You know, it's like they say that's a beehive. You want honey, but in order to get that honey, what are the bees going to do to you? But the reward is sweet. So sometimes they might not do anything to you. Hey, you get things easy. It's nice. Yes, but others will go through the pain. Others will not. But if you are one of those people going through the pain, just know that working hard rewards. Yeah. And also having information. They'll come. These guys from university would come grade 12. You're in your preliminary exams. That's when they come.
Like, here's a fun fact for me. Like, when I was doing matric, I was not even sure what I wanted to do at Varsity. Varsity was never even part of my plan. You know what?
You fall under the 90% of the kids who are in grade 12. They don't know what they want.
That's why right now, you know, it's more like I just want to be at Varsity for NSFAS and Funza Dushak. You know, I know in your field, there are people like you are doing this out of love. Yes. You know, I said this even on the previous episode. That's why we actually have even bullies, teachers who are bullies in schools, abusing kids, neglecting kids. It's because they are doing this thing for money. It's not something they wanted. You know, Utolugutu wanted to be an engineer, but I'm an APS.
And we always tell people that teaching is a calling.
Yeah.
You know, as much as if you want to do, you do it because you love this thing. You don't do it because of 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think the reason why other teachers became that type of work is because of you get there with so much excitement. You want to change the world, and then you hit a brick wall.
The barriers that exist within the Department of Education processes.
And the more you try to break down this wall, is the more they build more walls.
They fight you back.
Yeah, and that's why it came to that others lose interest. Some others move from being scientists to going to teaching. Some move engineers. Some move from being accountants into teaching because of they realize that I want to. I know.
For instance, I always tell like Daniel, they said that, you know, there's a certain part of me that's like I should have been a teacher because it's something I enjoyed in high school, like during business studies. You know, like I used to enjoy business studies to such a point like to such an extent that the educator, when she was not available, she'll be like, nah, take over, here's the textbook. And that thing started building on. So unfortunately, after my matric year, like my APS points were so low, I had to take that gap year. Like I even applied at one varsity because I was not even confident that I was gonna pass my matric.
Yeah. So talking about applying, there was this line Trevor Noah once said: "The lack of knowledge is the reason why a lot of people are not successful." You know, research skills are very important. Since now our kids now have phones, we need to teach them how to research. We need to teach them, guys, if you live in Gauteng, doesn't mean you'll end up in... If you want to go to a school in the Western Cape, if you want to go to school in the Northwest, do your research. Ask people who school there, how the life is there. Because you get there, it's a nice life. People are partying. People are doing whatever they want to do because now they are away from parents. But you as a person, you need to sit down and be like, what is my goal for coming here? That is why from school, you need to be taught why you want to go to 1, 2, 3, and 4. And a lot of kids, they were like, man, if you're offended, like go to a TVET school. They did not understand why. A TVET school is basically like a higher form of high school in some point.
But, okay, here's the thing about TVET schools. They were made for like education. You know, I classify them as varsities for me. They are part of the tertiary system. But the behavior there, for instance, have you ever been to West Colco?
Yes, I've been.
On a Friday or on a Thursday? You know, I turned there like, I wanted to register there when I took the gap year 2016. I was like, nah, I can't just sit and not do anything. Now when I got to West Colco, at the gate, okay, you check. You know, you get inside the campus, you start walking there, you just check the seat. It's a party, you're there like,
So, but now people, that's why they end up dropping out. They don't look over
those things.
It's nice to have freedom. Oh, I had a lot of fun at school.
Yeah.
But I didn't, I had fun, but I didn't, bro, my classes were Monday to Friday. Friday, you get there, I'm just after my physics class, no chemistry. People are drunk there, people are having fun. I still have a physics class that's going to end at 5 o'clock.
And you will go there.
No.
Bonga,
no. They told us, bro, your attendance is, if you don't attend 80% of your classes, automatically you fail.
That's what they say. You don't qualify for the exam.
Even if you are, your marks are the highest.
But 80%
attendance. And Monday, get in the morning 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I'm done at school at 9. Tuesday, 10 o'clock in the morning.
I get those timetables. You know, I've been in your shoes where like you have like one morning class around 8,
and then you have to sit. Then you have a class at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, so you're there like. So do I really have to go to campus? Ziawa, maybe Melville, let me just stop.
Yeah, you know, Plaza, Johannesburg.
My eye opener for me was like I almost got expelled at school. Yeah, 2018 because that year was too hectic for us. You know, like. We even stopped going to campus, like, you know, bro, it was hectic. So from there, like, I just had to come back, like you said, like, okay, failing is good, but
fail with a mindset of trying to improve.
Yeah, because after that I realized, oh, no, hey, my parents sent me to school, I fucked up, now they're looking at me like this, I'm here attending academic hearings, you know, you have 7 good record, and now you are alone. November, there you start to think. That's why like it starts haunting us. That's why like that's why I asked the question like of coping with the pressure, because for us I feel like most students, for me, that's how I felt when I went back to look back like where I went wrong. I saw horror like, okay, I was not balancing my social life and personal life equally.
Remember when I told you this thing about functioning professionals?
Yeah.
I became that at school. But I was focused more on academics.
Sure.
Yes, there were factors outside that were affecting me, but I became a functioning professional, and I realized one thing. Partying is nice. But even if after I finish my degree, I'll still be partying.
Yeah.
And my dad would see me at the time I failed. Oh, my dad was like, okay. So now you're playing games, huh?
Yeah, you know how parents are.
You fail something, you said you laugh, huh?
And so, we are out here giving you cash, doing everything, supporting.
At the time, I don't have a boss anymore.
Damn.
So I'm there like, he was like, and then he was like, this guy's gonna kill me. And then he was like, he said that, come down. Okay, what's the way forward now? You failed, it's okay. What now?
Yeah.
He just said, what now? And he left me like that. I sat down and I thought.
Started thinking.
And my chemistry lecturer was like, Mr. Msimango, I told you. And I'm there like, and they did, but because of now, I'm in this thing of, this is varsity life.
Yeah, you know, like we get blinded by that social curtain that's there. You know, hands, booze, gigs every Friday at campus. There's a celeb performing.
I won't call them friends per se. I knew them via someone.
Yeah.
They did IT Monday to Friday. They were here. Monday to Friday, or Monday to Friday. And I would ask myself, guys, when do you get time to study? Like, no, we study when you're drunk, we study while you're high. I'm like, but
my best friend used to do that.
And I tried it once.
It was hectic.
A test. Wait. I saw flames. I wrote my name, looked at the question paper, closed it.
I once tried doing that too, you know, like partying the whole night, and then I had like, okay, the test, I was writing at 9 a.m. test. So when I had to go there in the morning, like I'm tired, I'm exhausted, it's around 7, and the cab is waiting there by rest, it's about to leave.
It's cold, it's boring.
Yeah, I'm dressed, I'm showered, I'm dressed, I have my bag, I'm checking it there by the steps, I'm even bending my gauza there. You know, I was like, well, where am I going? And sick test.
So, but the thing is that what became nice for me is that my lecturers were very involved in our learning. You know?
Yeah. At varsity, they are lecturers. If you go to them and consult,
that's why they'll tell you consult. And I also got involved into a tutor program. I was not involved for a while because of my academics, but I got involved into a tutoring program whereby they tutor physics. Now they call it T-STEL.
Yeah.
I'll write down the info for you, then we'll post it. T-STEL. It's a tutoring group whereby they even went to Limpopo. They used to have camps whereby they actually go with learners and.
That's a movement I'm currently in love with, these tutoring movements that are there.
So and then I saw this is actually a very good project, and one of my friends right now is a teacher. We communicate frequently. He's still involved in the program. He's doing ICT. He loves computers, so he's tutoring via ICT. You know, he also did physics, but he loved ICT more. So I saw a gap when I sat down and looked at how the transition between high school and varsity is. I saw a huge gap because of we were sold lies. And then when we get there, but this is not what I was told.
Assignment same day. There's not even time to be like your partition.
Yeah, and you think you have time.
Yeah, but you don't.
You don't.
It's more like when you're out partying, there's a module somewhere you are being left behind.
Yes.
You know, that's what I started doing in 2019 because after 2018 I lost my funding, so at home they started paying now. You know, that's when I also sat down. I was like, okay, these people are already disappointed. This is my second chance. And now I'm no longer staying at the rest because they are paying now.
They have to now.
And you can't do anything. They're like, once you go out maybe in your Flamingo for a weekend, you come back. They're like, you're not even studying, you're partying, where you're paying.
The nerve. So for me, I think one of the most difficult things for not getting funding was traveling.
Yeah.
So the queue there, the rank there. If you get there after 7 o'clock,
sun up.
Just know that you arrive late at school. No matter how hard you try.
Sun up. You know,
so 4 o'clock I'm awake. 5 o'clock.
For an 8 a.m. class, you are leaving at 5.
I leave at 5 o'clock.
Someone who stays
I get there at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I have to sit
alone
and revise. And I'm there like, but this thing is not for me. There was a time for a week I stayed at my friend's race.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's the same as home. It's like,
that's why you realize a good thing. It's just that at home there's those two heads that are watching you, so you can't be like, I'm tripping, I'm proving, that lifestyle there. Because then you know, okay, if I'm not studying, it's either there's a hand inside or there's parties. You know, rest parties every week.
Yeah.
Rest parties.
So it's one of those things that I want to be involved in teaching high school learners about the transition and about the negatives of these things and the positives.
You should come and join my organization. It's called Unistad.
Yeah.
We actually focus on assisting like first year students transition properly
and
to high school.
First year and the third year are the hardest.
Wow.
First year and the third year.
And you know what's the hardest challenge? Maneuvering academics while trying to also
live your life.
Live your life and also trying to handle finances, because when you're there NSFAS, there are those queues that you have to go to, missing classes. You know, there was this other time I spent like 4 hours in a queue.
Classes are busy going on.
You are missing out there. 80%.
So it's also that thing that the administration is, they say they are backlogged, but if the administration did their work, a lot of things would be avoided, just like the saga that happened with the 14 something. I don't want to touch on that.
You know, that one. You can, bruh.
No, sometimes, these things, sometimes they also go into politics, Yeah, so sometimes you need to be politically correct to avoid something.
It also depends on who you know, for me, with that case. That's how I feel like, and how it was handled.
I was at the stage where I blamed
the student,
but after that I blamed, how can someone type in so many zeros?
Yeah, that thing was not a mistake. The person who did it
knew what they were doing.
Yeah, it's just that they did it on the wrong name, maybe.
But even if it was the right name, the mistake was with the person, because now they started being excited and started using money recklessly.
The only thing, like, I was pissed off with that shit was like, you didn't do anything. You just bought your friend's iPhone.
I think they should take her from jail and take it to a blow it.
Yeah.
Honestly. And
she deserves to be there.
Because I think if she had spent her money quietly.
Yeah.
I think she
like, even if she was balling and then when they call, this, you bought maybe a house, it's registered under your sibling's name. You're just there, you're not owning anything.
I don't own anything. Yeah. So I think if she went about it quietly.
Yeah. It was all about being low key.
She was gonna get a call from the NSS offices and be like, this is what we did, this is what we did.
By the way, she actually called them.
She did call them, but because they knew what they were doing, they didn't respond.
It all goes back to like the corruption that we were talking about. Even there's this platform, it's a third-party bank for varsity students, Fundi.
Fundi.
There's a lot of corruption that goes there. Forgive me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it straightforward. I realized this when I was using NSFAS for these people, they are actually chowing money.
Think about it, the SRC at school.
Yeah.
I heard they get like a budget of like R1 billion every year.
But how much do they get? How much do they use?
How much they use, how much they get. And how many people do know about this thing?
They don't even know.
Because sometimes you can go to the SRC and be like, guys, I'm struggling financially. I'm struggling. They will help you.
Yeah, it's called, what's this, SRC Trust Funds.
Yes. How many people know about those things? Not a lot of people.
People are struggling with their registration fees when the year starts. And you can
trust.
actually go there be like, I've been accepted to study here.
Yes. Help me with this.
SRC Trust Fund, and then I look for a bursary while I'm registered.
Yes.
Like when I went to, that was the case with me. I got like NSFAS while I was inside.
Yeah, and a lot of people get NSFAS while in school. Yeah. There are just the lucky few that get it
while.
Yeah. So it boils down to the thing of cut off the head of the snake. But now this snake is a hydra. You cut off one head, 2 more heads grow. So if you say burn the whole system,
that's what's supposed to happen.
But if it happens, now who are you going to put in that position? Who is going to take all the bullets?
Why do you think everything that's happening, even if we don't ban the whole system, we just remove everyone who's currently controlling this system? Like, let's look at all our leaders. Department of Education, how old is she?
Everyone is above 60. There's no one in a leadership position.
The world is changing. For IR, we are
already there.
The 5th industrial revolution. That's what we headed. Yeah. So and then we are still in school. We are still being taught LO, bro. LO.
No, LO is important because of one thing. The reason why LO was introduced into South Africa, remember the rates of HIV, that's why life skills were introduced in school.
But times have changed.
Times have changed.
You have this thing like a phone. You can actually do research with HIV. Like like learning life, bro. Right now it's simple. Like
so simple. But now you need to learn life the right way. You need to get the right people to teach you life. That's how. I watched this. I'm gonna promote it. I'm sorry.
Feel free.
Agenda Network. It's a YouTube channel. I watched those episodes. Like
that's a shout out, by the way. Isu.
Agenda Network. Just know I'm watching you guys. So, it's most about people who come from prison, talking about their lives. And when these people, you can see that these people are super intelligent, but because of the influences they got around where they live, they got into crime, others got into drugs, others got into prostitution.
Even here in my hood, I can, just chilling, I can actually show you 6 of them just passing. It's a norm in our community. It's a norm,
yeah. So, I saw others are even opening their businesses. They are you can see this person when he or she talks, you're like, this person is really smart. Yeah. The last episode I was watching, this guy was from KZN. He got into crime because of he didn't have certain things. Started stealing from home, shoplifting. Because of he wanted that other kids.
Yeah, fit
in. And the problem with fitting in is where you fit in. Don't try to fit in a space whereby it's not going to benefit you in the long run. That's why I don't have friends per se. My friends are like my family, my brothers.
Yeah.
Because I saw that sometimes the conversations that we have with these guys, girls.
I always tell my partner and friend, this guy we became friends after business. But in most cases, the people we chill with, we grew up with, when you are chilling with them, stock or groove. When we start being yo, let's start a business. Yeah. Let's do this. We are Kenya. We are Kenya. So let's just take a quick break.
No problem.
Let's just take a quick break. We'll be back after it to continue with our discussion. We'll continue where we just left off. But apart from that, to all the real talkers, man, the conversation has been interesting as we are still as we took a look at the major challenges facing public schools and educators. And right now, as we are about to take this break, we were looking at how high school learners can transition properly into varsity. So when we come back, it's gonna be all about the pressure that comes from our families. Hey. So apart from that, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow button. We'll be back after this short break. Still going to school.
Yeah.
These are just minor things, Then I started being friendly about opening up to people, meeting strangers. I feel talking to strangers too also helps.
And you also them talking to you. You don't know what they're going through, so it might be also a release for them.
Because after that, I learned a lot about no longer judging homeless people. I even started developing this culture when I see a homeless person, maybe they buy pram waiting for the bus, I will buy them maybe food because now you get to understand why they are doing this, and for you it's also a lesson for if I continue down this wrong path, this is where I'm gonna go. Because trust me, these guys will even tell you, you have it
and others were unfortunate that they didn't have opportunities. Yes, some would have liked to go there. There were good people, good students, but the opportunity they couldn't afford.
And I feel our government should actually do something for these people.
They should actually. That's one of the projects that I wanted to start like us.
Yeah.
And the thing with finding people who have the same vision
society, it's hard.
It's very difficult because of you want to help these helpers. And after you help them, they go back. But it's worth a try.
You know what you're talking about? Someone actually uttered this to me because by the way, to the real talkers who are not aware out there, but there's a post that's actually doing rounds on social media. Next month on April, the date is still yet to be decided. We'll be launching a recreational and rehabilitational program for our community. It's something that we are launching in order to help fight the war towards drugs and substance abuse. Because grounds are closed and everything.
Now, sports, it's something that is played by when there are games on. It's old people
we play soccer for alcohol. So this thing is gonna be like a AA support group. So I told someone about it. I was like, there's gonna be a alcohol anonymous support group, substance abuse.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like, dude, you are unemployed at the moment. You have a drinking problem.
You're still saying one of the. That's why, like, we need to change our way of thinking.
Yeah.
You not having something does not mean that you are not worthy.
Yeah.
There are a lot of avenues that you can still explore, and it takes you to have that determination to be like, you know what, I want to change. I want to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can drink alcohol. Like, we're not saying don't drink.
Yeah. We're just saying. Timing.
Let's limit yourself sometimes. And also drinking water is important. Water is important.
Too much.
Yeah. So it's one of those things you need to, as a person, learn to limit yourself. If you know that 6 beers is a lot for you, try 5.
Yeah.
If 5 is a lot, try 4. Try 3, but don't build a tolerance, please. That's where the problem comes. If you build a tolerance, you want more and more and more.
Like it's more like adversity. How many students do you know that they are actually addicted to alcohol? I'm not saying people who just drink.
95%.
Yeah, majority of them.
Yeah.
On a daily, there's more like in funny plague. Yeah. That person you think it's a lifestyle. Now it's a way of coping now.
It's a coping mechanism now. So, yeah.
You see now, and that's where it becomes the problem because you are not speaking out. There are facilities such as Fabricatio. We know, okay, they might not do enough.
Yeah.
But when you go there, someone will listen. Sometimes just talking instead of
they won't even give you advice, but just for you to release. Just talk. So once when the psychiatrist, it's a funny story. Hey, psychiatrist, I got there beginning of the year. So busy up and down. There are those now coming with problems from home. There are those now coming with
problems, conditions,
and all those things. So I'm there like, hey, my problems are not as serious as these people. So this lady's like, I'm like, no, it's fine, ma'am. I just wanted to see how the place is. By the way, this place looks nice. I'm like, no, but and my brother's like, there are people with more problems than me. Damn.
Yeah, that's something I also realized because it was given to me as an academic condition after my appeal because you saw the story somewhere F7 when you have to come back now explaining why
you have to explain
you were lacking. So that thing became a problem at some point, So what happened was that what went down was that. So when I got there, my condition is now you need to attend psychiatry for the whole year. And the person who's telling me this, I know who's strict. They call that lady Hitler. She was my purchasing lecturer. Just the nickname Hitler. She did not tolerate nonsense. When I got there, she was like, okay, my boy, be honest with me. What happened when I went for my appeal? It's I can tell, funeral, grandma, everything. And then, I just bluntly became honest, and I was like, I was fucking around 2018. I was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, psychiatry, just go to psychiatry. When I got there, I attended 2 sessions. And then I met this guy who was having problems from home, depression. The very same reason you're saying. I said that okay.
Life
people have bigger problems than me. So for me going there, I feel like I'm wasting that person's time.
Yeah, there are people with more issues.
Yeah, it would actually use it to help them.
Yeah.
Started staying away, and I thought it would affect my condition, my appeal condition. Never did. No, I realized it was more you just need help. Just go there.
Just go there.
They were just giving you that push, but it's a lot because even psychiatry, these things that they don't help usually. What we said about social workers in school, sometimes they can listen, but solutions, some of them, they'll just be there
they're just there for a paycheck.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I think when students, when you get into varsity, please look for the psychology department.
Yeah, that's the first step.
Please, go and look for the psychology department so that you can be able to talk to someone. There are people who are willing to listen and willing to help out there. Don't give up. If you have a problem, just go and talk to someone. The psychology department is actually free, guys.
Yeah, free of charge.
So don't worry.
Even what's this? There are students who realize these things in varsity. They started organizations, initiatives that support students' mental health. Because there's this one, what's this? IOHA. the one,
Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Because they also focus on such things. It's not only HIV and AIDS. You know those people when they're there, you can just get there and start talking to them.
And they come to our schools and they just like, they're coming to waste our time, let's go drink beer. They're like,
like whenever there's a health official somewhere, I make sure to engage.
Yeah,
because
they used to call me Papa.
Rather they call me but I'm Papa. But I will ask, what's up? Okay, why are you doing? That's how I took my first drug test in varsity, you know. Like, you know, there was a time there. Yeah. So I'm there like, okay, and they're like, nah, these are like drug tests we are testing how many you have in your limit because SIAS in your user, so it's safe to know.
Yeah, we cannot say don't use, but we need to know if you are using.
So when I went there,
if you want to move, we'll help you move.
That stuff was.
If you want to stay, we'll force you to move.
They even give you solutions like, okay, this is what, if you want solutions, you want to quit.
You want to drink,
sign up. But if you just want to know, it's okay.
We don't, and that's the thing I liked about, and when they come, the SANBS. So I used to go there for the biscuits, man. Like, I would sit there and like, no, come. No, like, but aren't you donating? No. I would just eat and get food and leave. You know, so they came the next time. This lady's like, you are number one. Like, I haven't eaten. It's like, are you sure? Like, let me test your blood sugar levels. Like, okay, they are low, but go and eat now.
Come back
now. Bro, they even gave me a card.
Yeah.
Like, this is your card. Come back.
I
came there. I came with my friends. Like,
and you were scared even.
And then we donated blood, and I'm like, hey, alright, this is not as bad as I thought. And I would encourage people to donate blood because of first things first, it's a way of finding out your HIV status in a way by not going to the.
There are people who don't even know what kind of blood type they are.
Yeah, I found out my blood type there.
Same
I found
here.
out my HIV status there. I found out about a lot of things regarding blood there. And I was like, hey, you can find out a lot of things
by just engaging them. So in most cases, we are even afraid to approach like these people. Even at varsities, you'll find like on Fridays, there's this thing that they do. They invite bands to come and educate people about. You know, we don't even go to those things. We'll just be there, like
we will see them from afar.
So here's an advice, you know, don't sleep on these things. These things are vital. If only even us we knew back then.
Yeah, maybe, hey.
Right now, maybe we'll be fine in life, man.
So, guys, information is important.
So, Lesego, man, we've been flowing, man. Yeah, it's almost 2 hours now, but we are about to wrap off now. So, yeah. We are about to move on to our last point for this episode, and this one will actually be taking a look at the types of careers and skills that are in demand in the job sector, because I think you're aware of this as a teacher that we have learners, high school learners or matriculants who choose these courses that like they are full, like everyone is there, they are flowing there. So what advice do you have for them when it comes to such things, considering that our unemployment rate is at 66.5%? It just went down last year.
So for careers, it's something that is very broad. First things first. If, for example, you are in the engineering sector, a lot of people just know electrical, mechanical, civil, or chemical. But there are also other aspects in engineering that you can do. Medicine, you're just looking at doctor. You can be a trauma surgeon, you can be a pediatrician, you can be a dermatologist, you can be a dentist, you can be an obstetrician, you can be like different things. You don't just focus on being a surgeon or thingy. If you want to be a surgeon, then that's good, but there are also other avenues in medicine. In education,
I know the last it's an influx. You know, like majority of people who are at varsity, ask them what they are doing. It's BED.
Yeah, you know why they flooded into education? Because of this bursary was like, hey, if you have a certain amount of this, you get in.
Yeah.
So
and
they use it as a stepping stone, but others end up loving it.
For also as like that thing for a job security, because for Funza Lushaka, you know, once you're there, guaranteed Spanish over there. Yes. Unlike us logisticians, we are competing with 4IR, you know.
You are competing with people who have been in this business for the longest time. So in education, guys, there's not only teaching. You can be in the background. You know, you can be the one who actually designs the syllabus. You can be those in the exam centers, because sometimes they need people.
People are not even aware of these things.
In teaching, admin, a lot of people, principals, number one. They also did admin. In also education, they did admin, accounting, and all these things. You know, there is this thing called support and I forgot about what it does. Is that it helps teachers. They get programs for teachers to teach teachers.
Workshops,
support and support and development. So we can also be involved in that.
Hey, we used to champ for periods because of those things. Like they were, I don't know how they host them now, but
they still do.
Every Friday or Thursdays.
Yeah. Then the HOD will be there, like, hey, I want you, Sis Mama, Mrs. Mama, let's go.
Yeah,
so and in the IT department, you see there, since now we are in the digital network, our lives are digital. There is a lot. I don't think if I touch, I'll just touch on 0.1%.
But just to add on what you are saying about IT, we are living in an era where like having an IT skill, it's a necessity.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know if it's true, but I was told that there are schools that teach programming from a young age. It's not part of the syllabus, but
they teach it because they predicted the future. Because the only reason people are getting retrenched, robots. You were at UJ there by the library, when you check, it's a robot assisting.
Simple thing, McDonald's, KFC there. If you don't want the queue.
And those things, in order for you to operate them, you need to know code. So software programming now, these things are necessity.
Data analytics, data, especially you see data analytics and data warehousing. That's where the demand is.
Being an engineer doesn't help these days. You need to be an engineer / software developer or programmer.
You need to know something about computers. You know, and that's where I think schools could do an amazing job by actually like. Schools with computers now, they should actually push into teaching kids how to program, how to fix these things, how to do all.
Even Microsoft Office should be added in high school. This thing of arriving at varsity, still doing Microsoft admin.
And Excel. If you want to start programming and all these things.
That's right.
Data analytics. Excel is very important. You know, and
Excel is important in every industry.
Yeah. You know, you see that transaction that you make there when you're swiping, when you're tapping, that's part of data analytics, data warehousing. They get your information. That's why now credit scores and everything. That's part of data analytics and data warehousing. So in 2019, I was in a program called Explore Data Science Academy. I got an internship by Harambe. Shout out EDSA.
Yeah, they've been looking out for the youth, those ones.
So we were there, we did data analytics. You know, it was something I went into the course. Disclaimer, guys. I'm not yet a qualified teacher, but I regard myself as a teacher because I don't not only teach people in education.
You are a teacher.
Yeah, you know, I'm yet to finish my qualification. So yeah, it's one of those things that when I got the data analytics, Python programming, it's something that I never thought I would need in my life until I started applying for jobs.
Yeah, that's what.
And a job like Excel Advanced.
Yeah.
Excel. And when you were a kid, when you saw a computer with Excel, you just saw blocks.
You pass, you open with. You just write. Me, I actually started using Word while I was still in primary because.
Yeah, that's I think how fortunate we were. In our time, we had computers.
Access to computers. You went with that computer lab. So from there, like it just went Excel, and then we got to varsity. That's when Excel I saw. Damn, Microsoft, and you are this broad.
And you didn't know that actually you can do such things.
And it simplified life because some of these things you were busy drawing tables, doing this stuff, but you like these things I've been struggling. There's a simpler method.
So that's the thing. If schools and That's one other thing I think we can get together and try and help, because of kids actually need to learn how to use computers.
Yeah.
Even adults. My parents.
I need
show
you
them
to
one
come.
thing
I
now.
need you to come and volunteer on this project.
No problem, man.
Because this one, I want like everything that's gonna be happening. There's gonna be free of charge. We're gonna be having chess clubs, a football academy, and then on that side we're gonna be having like computer classes for Microsoft. Computer classes for even older people.
Yeah. I don't mind. I'll come, man. So regarding careers, do your research, guys. There's not only one thing. So if you want to do, let's say, engineering, engineering it comes upon your it goes. So
right now it's there.
Yeah.
It's here, like.
So do your research and find out where you can fit in these job sectors, because there are a lot.
And take your time.
Take your time. Yeah. Sit there and be like, in order to become this, what is needed for this person? What is needed for you? There are opportunities that are open for some things that people don't even know about.
You can start varsity at 30 if that's what it takes. Don't make the same mistakes we make of rushing into like, hey, time is moving. We are competing with friends, maybe like, okay, my friends are moving, they are getting married, buying houses, I should be doing.
That
chill,
is a problem.
relax.
Run your own race.
Yeah.
Run your own race. And so last point, guys. I did mention research. Take your time and find out what you love. Your talent is out there, but if your talent cannot make you money, then something is doing wrong. So take time to do your research and find something that works for you. I guarantee you.
And do what you love, and what you love will feed you.
Money for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently witnessing, low key, to buy, because I've started like doing things that I've always wanted to do, and as soon as you enjoy, you even start seeing the returns, even for your mental health, it's healthy.
And you open doors that you never thought were there.
Yeah.
And
but
check now, there are people now in class now, they are trying by opening businesses.
Yeah, but they're failing.
They're failing because of it's not something that they wanted to from. They just want to make money.
Yeah.
In business, you need to understand why.
Long term,
short term
goals, profit, how
the admin of having a business. Other people.
That's why it kills them.
You see,
the accounting part and admin.
That's why, like, a lot of people, they judge people from I blow it.
Yeah.
Like, this guy should have opened a business.
But it's not simple.
Opening a business is not simple.
There's a quote that I love. It says, anyone, even a fool, can start a business. But running it
is the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Because they always think, as soon as you have a business, it's smooth sailing. Hey, there are days where you don't even want anything to do with the type of business.
That's where varsity comes in. There's certain individuals in society that are always like, I can't go to varsity, Elon Musk is a dropout. And then I'm there like, so you think that me going to varsity, I'm going there to look for employment? No, I know that I want to own a business, but for me to do that, I need to understand the basic stuff.
Yeah.
Once you get there, it becomes simpler. And when you're at school, you can even start that business while you're still at varsity.
But look, think about this. These people dropped out of school with an idea. And it's not that that idea started while they were still in varsity.
Yeah.
No, it started a long time ago.
And they dropped out of varsity, not high school or anything.
Yeah. And they dropped out knowing where this idea is going. Not just be like, this person doesn't.
And it had already blown up.
Yeah, it already had something there. So them deciding to leave school was for them to focus fully on this business.
Like, now it's time for this thing to get my whole attention.
Yes. Still like, Bill Gates dropped out of college. Yes. Yeah, there was a point where he's like, but he didn't drop out because he was failing. No, he dropped out
because his business was starting to be successful. Yes. We need to know these things, and make the right choices, because people out there are misled. They think that we want to be slave masters working for the slave master. No, we are not there for that thing.
And we're not saying, guys, you own slaves. Disclaimer. So.
Sorry about that. Yeah. I'm just saying, just to buy a like, you don't have to work for someone your whole entire life. Yeah. Like you said,
use a 9 to 5 to find your passion.
Exactly.
Or to fund your passion.
Yes.
At the end of the day, your passion will make money for you.
Exactly.
If your passion is wasting money, then
so do you. But apart from that, Mr. Lesego, it's been an honor having you on the show, man. like, I won't lie, this conversation was actually interesting, and like, I learned a lot, and I'm still gonna learn a lot because I'm still gonna chop it off, edit there and there. So, like, it's been an honor having you on the show, man. I'm looking forward to having you on future episodes of the podcast, man. But before we actually wrap off the episode, I'm just gonna give you like a minute again to actually just summarize or just touch on anything that you feel like maybe we didn't touch on, or we didn't give attention, or I didn't ask about, you see.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do a simple summary, guys. Education, when they say is the key to success, it's very important to understand why it is the key to success. It gives you certain skills on how to survive, because we're working on a survival of the fittest method in life. You know, so it teaches you skills on how to survive. So going to school will give you certain skills, but also not forgetting that you also need so find a balance and find what works for you, guys. Career-wise, life-wise, anything. Just always find a balance. That is why there's meditation. Meditation is very important. You don't. You have to do sit down there and just find a quiet space. Gather your thoughts. That's for meditation. Talking to someone, that's a form of meditation. So those things, and you'll find out that sometimes you're worrying about something that was not there because you found a balance in your life whereby now you can be able to do stuff without overthinking or underthinking or undervaluing yourself. So yeah, thanks a lot for having me, AK. I'm looking for, I want to come back.
Nah, you will. Because even this episode, I feel like we should actually do it with like maybe a panel.
Yeah.
You know, even teachers who have been in the game for a while. Wow. Because you know, you might find that we are criticizing them for how they did things. We don't understand
where it comes from.
But apart from that, man, thank you once again, man. It's been an honor having you on the show, man. Great conversations on the People's Podcast, man. Apart from that, please don't forget to click that subscribe button. I'm still on it, man. And that follow button, because I'll just get here and just stream the show, not hitting that subscribe button. So do hit it up, man. Apart from that, don't forget to also follow us on our social media platforms once again. As I've said, it's at the People's Podcast across all social media platforms. And for guest bookings, for those who are looking to be on the show, you can hit me up on any of my social media DMs, or you can send me an email at the People's Podcast 1754@gmail.com. You know, that it is what it is. And you can also still join the Patreon community, our official community of practical for practical problem solvers on Patreon. It's patreon.com/realtalkwithakay. You can just go check it out. The tiers are just different. The first tier is 80 rand, that's the general membership. And then the second tier is 150. You know, for those ones that feel like, okay, they want to be different from the rest of the crowd, that's where they are. The third tier, I'm a VIP, I'm a A-lister, those ones that like bragging. There you find everything. You even get like to be like part of our audience Q&A sessions. Apart from that, it's a rep from us. It's really. Thank you.